Fern Glenn Conservation Area is part of the largest open spaces between Winchendon and Boston, an area running about 1 mile east to west and over 4 miles north to south. Fern Glenn Conservation Area was protected in 2002 by Mount Grace Land Conservation Trust. Nathan Olson donated the original 120 acres of land to Mount Grace in 1997 and then donated an additional 12 acres in 2003. Fern Glen abuts the town of Winchendon's 490-acre 19th Hill Conservation Area, which contains the headwaters of Bailey Brook. The Massachusetts Department of Fish and Game has conservation restrictions on both Fern Glen and 19th Hill, which are part of one of the biggest interior forest blocks in Massachusetts. This property is named to honor Glenn Frieden, Mount Grace's forester when the trust began to manage the land, and recognizes the lush growth of more than 10 species of ferns that give the forest understory and a wetland a soft, feathery feel in the summer. Club mosses include a ground cedar, running pine, shining fir moss, and Hickey's tree club moss run everywhere along the ground, looking from above like a miniature forest within a forest. Fern Glen Conservation Area is 130 acres of two rare, contrasting natural community types, an extensive boreal swamp that dominates the eastern half of the property, and a woodland on steep talus slopes with huge old sugar maples, ash trees, and red oaks. Plant enthusiasts will find much to marvel at here, particularly along the fringes of the spruce tamarack swamp where rose pingonia orchids bloom profusely in July. Notice, too, the beautiful late 18th or 19th century stone walls on the western portion of the main loop trail. As farmers worked on their fields, they would remove the stone and pile them on the edges of their property. Just imagine each rock being placed one upon two by hand, with possible help from team oxen for larger stones. Nationally known botanist, author, illustrator, conservationist, and former Mount Grace staff member Elizabeth Farnsworth monitored this property for Mount Grace. Living on land protected by Mount Grace, Elizabeth was always ready to volunteer by leading events, surveying the land for rare species, and writing Mount Grace guidebooks and other publications. She was a world-recognized expert on ferns who co-authored the 2005 edition of the Peterson Field Guide to Ferns of Northeastern and Central North America, the standard handbook for fern identification. She also helped start Go Botany, an online resource for identifying New England plants. You can bring a guidebook or take pictures of the ferns you see and use Go Botany to identify them to get a sense of the amazing diversity of ferns and other species found at Fern Glen.